Can you imagine that on Mercury, the year is shorter than the day? On Mercury, the closest planet to the Sun, time works in a completely different way than on Earth. It takes only 88 Earth days for Mercury to complete a full orbit around the Sun, but one full rotation on its axis takes 176 Earth days. This means that on Mercury, one day lasts twice as long as a year. Can you imagine living on a planet where morning and evening are separated by months? This astonishing fact makes Mercury one of the most peculiar planets in our solar system. Did you know that 90% of the population in the US lives on credit? This may be a shocking statistic, but this financial reality has become the norm for most Americans. The country is known for its consumer culture, with nearly 1 in 7 people holding 7 or more credit cards. This dependence on borrowed money is tied to high living standards and the availability of accessible credit, making the U.S. one of the leaders in consumption worldwide. Credit culture is an integral part of the economy and life for Americans, reflecting their approach to finances and lifestyle. Honey Guide, the bird that will help you find honey if you share it. Imagine being lost in the African wilderness searching for food. In this case, you'd need one special bird, the honey guide. This unique bird species can literally talk to you and lead you to beehives. But there's a catch. When the honey guide helps you find honey, it expects you to share it. If you don't, the next time the bird may lead you not to honey, but to something dangerous, like a venomous snake. So it's better not to be greedy. This is an example of true partnership between humans and nature. What is a clouder? Meet a group of cats. Have you ever wondered what a group of cats is called? It turns out the proper term is clouder. This quirky word is used to describe several cats gathered together. There are other terms like glaring or pounce for groups of cats, but clouder sounds especially charming. The next time you see a bunch of cats hanging out, you can impress everyone with your knowledge of this unusual term. Why do flamingos stand on one leg? Flamingos can stand on one leg for hours, and while it may seem strange, there's a scientific reason. By tucking one leg under their bodies, flamingos conserve energy and retain body heat. This position also reduces muscle fatigue. Scientists even found out that flamingos can sleep standing on one leg without losing balance. Can you imagine being able to stand on one leg for hours? These birds are true masters of balance and relaxation. Why do you think the world's most expensive coffee costs so much? Kopi Luwak is the world's most expensive coffee, priced at a whopping $600 per pound. This exotic brew is made from coffee beans that have been eaten and passed through the digestive system of the civet, a small animal found in Southeast Asia. Enzymes in the civet's stomach alter the flavor of the beans, making them smoother and less bitter. The result is a coffee with a unique, mild taste that coffee enthusiasts are willing to pay top dollar for. Who knew a group of pugs is called a grumble? Pugs are already beloved for their cute and quirky personalities. But did you know that a group of pugs is called a grumble? This charming term perfectly suits their adorable and sometimes noisy nature. When several pugs gather, it's a delightful sight and sound, a small grumble of little doggy characters, bringing joy and humor to any scene. Have you ever stopped to think that opossums fake their deaths? When threatened, opossums go full method actor. They enter a trance-like state called thanatosis. It's not just playing dead, it's a full physiological shutdown. Their heart rate drops to near undetectable levels. Their bodies go limp, and they emit a foul smell from anal glands in their mouth that mimics the scent of decay. This gruesome performance convinces many predators to lose interest, assuming the corpse is either rotten or diseased. The opossum may stay like this for minutes or even hours, then slowly recover and creep away. It's an involuntary response triggered by fear, not a conscious decision, but it works like a charm. Millions of years of evolution have turned this peculiar act into a highly effective survival strategy. How long do you think the world's longest tongue is? British artist Nick Stubrel holds the title for the world's longest tongue. His tongue measures an impressive 10.1 centimeters, just under 4 inches. Nick can perform amazing tricks with his tongue. He can lick his nose, elbow, and even his own eye. He has also turned his unique talent into an art form, using his tongue to paint portraits. Nick covers his tongue in paint and makes strokes on canvas, creating truly unusual pieces of art. Talk about extraordinary skills. This is why many consider the USA a symbol of democracy. Despite its globally recognized influence on democratic processes, it's interesting to note that women gained the right to vote in the US only in 1920, after many years of fighting for their rights. Native Americans, the indigenous people of the country, became official US citizens only in 1924. This demonstrates how long the struggle for equality and justice has been in a country that today symbolizes freedom and democracy for the entire world. Can you believe it? There are islands that appear and disappear. In some parts of the world, especially in the Indian Ocean region, there are sandy islands that appear and disappear depending on the tides. These islands are known as ghost islands. They may only exist for a few hours or days before being submerged again. This incredible natural phenomenon raises questions among scientists about how such unstable ecosystems form. It's hard to believe, but balancing barnacles glue better than superglue. These humble sea creatures are master chemists. Barnacles secrete a natural underwater adhesive made from complex protein polymers and calcium, which instantly hardens in salt water. Their glue can bind to almost any surface, metal, rock, or shell, and remain stable in high-pressure, turbulent environments. Lab tests show their cement has bonding strength up to 14 MPa, surpassing many industrial adhesives. Unlike superglue, it's eco-friendly, biodegradable, and works flawlessly underwater. Scientists are studying its structure to develop medical-grade sealants and underwater construction adhesives. Evolution refined this formula over millions of years, solving engineering problems that still challenge human scientists. It's one of the most perfect examples of nature outperforming industry with sustainable brilliance. Did you know the world's most venomous animal can kill in minutes? The most venomous animal in the world is the box jellyfish, found in the tropical waters of Australia, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific Ocean. The tentacles of this jellyfish can reach 3 meters in length and are covered with millions of microscopic stingers that inject a powerful toxin. One sting causes excruciating pain, and its venom can cause cardiac arrest and death within minutes. This oceanic menace is a wonder of nature that you don't want to mess with. How would you react if you found out that moving lakes exist in Kenya? In Kenya, there are unique salt lakes that change location depending on rainfall levels. These lakes can disappear for months only to reappear in a new location after the rainy season. Researchers believe that the movement of water in these lakes depends on underground rivers and tectonic shifts. Such lakes create a unique ecosystem, attracting animals and birds that follow the water. Why is the world's only pink river dolphin unafraid of people? In the Amazon, there lives a unique pink dolphin that not only stands out for its unusual color, but also for its amazing courage. These dolphins often swim near people, and locals believe they have special magical powers. Ancient legends say pink dolphins can transform into humans and visit villages at night. Scientists have yet to confirm these stories, but the mystique and friendliness of these animals have made them symbols of Amazonian lore. Did you know the largest diamond in the world weighed more than 3,000 carats? The Cullinan diamond, found in 1905 in South Africa, is the largest diamond ever discovered. It weighed a staggering 3,160 carats. This unique gem was divided into several pieces, some of which adorn the British royal regalia. This diamond is a true wonder of nature, and its size is simply breathtaking. Fold a piece of paper 42 times and you'll reach the moon. Imagine this. If you could fold a piece of paper 42 times, it would become so thick that it could reach the moon. This incredible concept is tied to the exponential increase in the paper's thickness with each fold. Of course, in reality, it's almost impossible to fold a piece of paper more than 7 or 8 times due to its physical structure. But theoretically, it would work. This fun fact shows just how fascinating mathematics can be and how difficult it is for physical objects to adhere to such theoretical rules. Try it yourself and see how many times you can fold a piece of paper. Did you know the world's largest crossword puzzle has over 66,000 squares? In 2015, Japanese puzzle master Nomio created the world's largest crossword puzzle. This gigantic puzzle boasts 66,666 clues and 93,700 squares. It took 4 years to complete and was displayed in a Japanese shopping mall. Today it's preserved in a book form, giving puzzle lovers a chance to marvel at this monumental brain teaser. Did you know that there's a stone forest on Earth? In China's Yunnan province, you'll find one of the most unique natural phenomena, the Shailan, or stone forest. This astonishing forest isn't made of trees, but of towering limestone pillars that rise towards the sky like jagged spikes of rock. The age of this extraordinary forest is over 270 million years. Erosion from rain and wind has sculpted the rocks into such bizarre shapes. For centuries, people have attributed mystical powers to this place, and local legends claim that spirits of nature inhabit Shailan. It's so majestic and mysterious, it almost looks like a set from a fantasy movie. Do you suffer from kenophobia, fear of empty spaces? Kenophobia is a rare and unusual fear of empty spaces. People who have this fear feel uncomfortable in overly open places, where there is no furniture or objects, creating a sense of fullness. Imagine playing hide and seek with someone who has kenophobia. The thought of finding a place to hide in a large empty room could become a real nightmare. This phobia highlights just how different our perceptions of the world around us can be. Is it true that ancient Egyptians used crocodile dung as a contraceptive? Yes, it's true. Around 2,000 years before Christ, women in ancient Egypt used crocodile dung as a method to prevent pregnancy. They believed this method would block sperm from entering. While this might sound strange and even risky from a modern medical perspective, people back then sought any means of birth control. This historical fact shows just how far humanity has come in the development of medicine. Thanks to modern research, we now have much safer and more reliable methods of contraception. Is it really possible that birds sleep in flight? It sounds like science fiction, but some birds, like frigate birds and swifts, can literally sleep while flying. Researchers used tiny EEG sensors to monitor brain activity and discovered that these birds use unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, resting one side of the brain while the other stays awake. This unique ability allows them to soar across oceans for days or weeks without landing. They can stay alert enough to navigate, avoid obstacles, and maintain balance, all while giving their brains periodic rest. This adaptation is crucial for species that can't land safely on water or lack feeding spots mid-journey. It's an incredible evolutionary response to the challenge of long-distance migration. These birds are the only known vertebrates capable of combining motion and sleep so seamlessly, proving that nature finds rest, even in mid-air. Wow, it turns out that Virginia has gifted the United States more presidents than any other state. Among the notable presidents born in this state are figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. Virginia is considered the birthplace of American democracy, and its historical legacy continues to influence the political life of the country. This also symbolizes the importance of the state in shaping the political culture of the U.S. and its role in the nation's quest for independence. Did you know the largest living organism on Earth is a mushroom? The honey fungus, also known as the giant mushroom, covers an astonishing 2,385 acres in the Malheur National Forest in Oregon, USA. This fungus forms a massive underground network of mycelium, which is the vegetative part of the fungus that spreads beneath the soil. The mycelium isn't visible to the naked eye, but it is responsible for the mushrooms that appear above the ground. Can you imagine one organism covering such a vast area? It's a true wonder of nature that few people know about. Why is a group of owls called a parliament? Owls are often associated with wisdom, and perhaps that's why their collective noun is a parliament. This term is linked to ancient Greek and Roman myths, where owls symbolize knowledge and magic. The term gained popularity in English literature thanks to Chaucer's writings. Owls often gather as if they're deliberating, which resembles parliamentary meetings. These remarkable birds have keen vision and hearing, allowing them to hunt in the dark. So next time you see a group of owls, imagine them discussing the forest's most pressing matters at their owl assembly. Why do chickens peck at their food? When a chicken finds food and pecks it on the ground, it's not just a random habit. This process is called beak pounding and helps chickens break down food into smaller, easier to manage pieces. A chicken's powerful beak acts like a tool to crack seeds and other tough bits of food. This behavior is common among many birds, but chickens do it with particular zeal, allowing them to get more nutrients and energy from their meals. Next time you see a chicken pecking, remember it's using its own little kitchen tools. Did you know plastic bags can take centuries to decompose? The plastic bags we use every day can take up to several hundred years to decompose, or even longer. Unlike organic materials, plastic doesn't easily break down because it's not part of nature's cycle. Over time, it degrades into smaller pieces known as microplastics, but this process takes decades. This poses a serious environmental problem, highlighting the need to rethink how we use and dispose of plastic in our daily lives. Did you know there are eternal lightning storms on Earth? In Venezuela, there is a place called Catatumbo where lightning strikes almost constantly. This unique natural phenomenon occurs at Lake Maracaibo, where lightning can be observed on up to 250 days each year. Known as the Catatumbo lightning storm, lightning can flash up to 280 times an hour. Scientists believe this is due to the region's unique topography, which creates perfect conditions for constant discharges. This location has become a major attraction for tourists and scientists from around the world. Cows have a phenomenal sense of smell. Cows can boast an extraordinary sense of smell, capable of detecting scents from up to 6 million meters away. This means a cow can sniff out fresh grass or a water source from miles away. This sensitivity helps cows navigate their surroundings, find food, and avoid danger. But their sense of smell isn't just about finding food. It also helps them recognize their calves and even other herd members. This ability underscores how important the world of scents is to them and how closely they are connected to the natural environment. Did you know that giraffes sleep for only minutes at a time? Despite their towering height and gentle nature, giraffes live under constant threat in the wild. As a result, they sleep very little, just 30 to 60 minutes per day, broken into brief naps lasting 5 to 10 minutes. Most of this sleep occurs while standing, thanks to a unique system of ligaments that locks their legs in place without muscle strain. Only in the safest conditions do giraffes lie down to enter REM sleep, curling their necks backward in a position that looks awkward but is surprisingly stable. Scientists believe this fragmented sleep pattern evolved as a defense mechanism, allowing giraffes to remain alert and flee quickly from predators. It's one of the shortest sleep durations in the animal kingdom, proving that vigilance often trumps rest when survival depends on it. What do you think is the largest economy in the world? Of course, it's the USA. With a GDP exceeding $23 trillion, the US continues to lead the global economy, consistently maintaining its position as a world leader. The country's economy is based on high technology, innovation, financial services, and a strong military industry. The U.S. remains a global hub for investments, startups, and corporate solutions. Its economic power allows it to influence international markets and set trends in global business, making it not only an economic superpower, but also a vital center for new technology and innovation development. Can you believe it? Cows have best friends. Cows, beyond being valuable farm animals, are incredibly social creatures with rich emotional lives. They can form strong friendships with other cows, and if separated from their best friends, they can become stressed. Cows often spend time together, graze in pairs, and express their emotions through unique vocalizations. Their social bonds highlight that cows are not just animals providing milk, but they have their own emotional worlds that deserve recognition. Did you know that earthquakes also happen on the moon? Yes, indeed. The moon experiences its own kind of tremors, known as moonquakes. These shakes can be caused by Earth's gravitational pull, meteor impacts, or tidal forces, and they can last for up to an hour. Surprisingly, moonquakes can reach magnitudes of up to 5.5 on the Richter scale. Just imagine, the moon, our constant celestial companion, reacts to Earth's gravitational pull as if dancing in space alongside our planet. This shows that the moon is more alive and dynamic than we might think. Tiny plants, mighty power. Half of Earth's oxygen comes from the ocean. The oxygen we breathe is not only created by forests, but also by tiny marine organisms like plankton, algae, and seaweed. These little factories produce more than half of the planet's oxygen through photosynthesis. Thanks to sunlight, they transform carbon dioxide into oxygen, which is vital for all living beings on Earth. This amazing fact reminds us of the importance of the oceans and their role in sustaining life on our planet. Could sea urchins use their spines for more than defense? At first glance, a sea urchin looks like a slow-moving, spiky ball, but these sharp protrusions are far more versatile than they seem. Sea urchins use their spines for locomotion, gently nudging themselves along rocks or coral reefs while their tube feet provide suction and control. The spines also act as sensory tools, detecting shifts in water flow and nearby movement. Some species even carry pieces of shell or debris with their spines for camouflage or protection. In many tropical varieties, spines are tipped with venom capable of stunning small prey or deterring predators. And deep beneath the surface, the spines work as a defense, shield, and even a mobility aid, turning the urchin into a quiet but efficient ecosystem engineer. Beneath the armor is a living machine, maintaining coral balance, cleaning the seabed, and surviving in some of the harshest marine environments on Earth. What's hidden in LEGO's secret vault? LEGO has a secret underground vault that stores every single set of building blocks the company has ever made. It's a true time capsule filled with nostalgia and creativity, waiting to delight fans of all ages. Imagine the wonders hidden beneath this vault, where both classic and modern sets are stored together. This vault is a dream come true for LEGO enthusiasts, preserving the company's entire legacy. Why do people love talking about themselves? Studies show that people spend about 60% of their conversation time talking about themselves, and on social media, this number goes up to 80%. This is because people enjoy sharing their thoughts, experiences, and personal stories. Especially in the age of social media, these platforms have become spaces for self-expression and connection. This fact provides an intriguing insight into human nature, the desire for communication and recognition. Snails can sleep for up to 3 years. In the slow-moving world of creatures, snails are the undeniable champions. They have the astonishing ability to hibernate for up to 3 years. For some, it's not laziness, but rather an enviable skill of endurance and patience. You can only imagine the slow-paced dreams they must have over the years. And here we thought our weekend naps were impressive. Don't ever challenge a snail to a sleep-off. You're bound to lose in the most hilarious way possible. Ducks with superpowers, they have 3 eyelids. Unlike most animals, ducks have not 2, but 3 eyelids. Besides the usual upper and lower eyelids, ducks have a third transparent membrane. This extra eyelid helps sweep their eyes from the side, protecting them from dust and debris, and it also improves their vision underwater. Ducks essentially have supervision, allowing them to thrive in different environments. Can you imagine what it's like to have such an amazing eye shield? True superheroes in the bird world. Is the 10,000 steps a day just a myth? We often hear that walking 10,000 steps a day is essential for good health. But did you know that this number isn't scientifically backed? The figure originated in the 1960s as part of a marketing campaign for a Japanese pedometer, whose name translates as 10,000 steps. It was simply a catchy slogan that stuck in the culture, but in reality there is no specific scientific data that confirms that exactly 10,000 steps is the magic number. The number of steps needed to stay healthy can vary from person to person. Believe it or not, penguins coat themselves with a water-repellent layer. Braving the brutal cold of Antarctic waters, penguins rely on more than just fat for survival. They wear a built-in waterproof suit. At the base of their tail lies a uropygial gland that secretes a thick, oily substance. Penguins spread this oil across their feathers using their beaks during grooming. The result? A perfectly sealed outer coat that locks in body heat and keeps icy water out. This not only helps them dive to great depths, but also lets them swim for hours without becoming waterlogged. Without this daily oiling, penguins would lose heat at catastrophic rates, up to 30% of their body warmth in just a minute. The waterproof barrier also increases buoyancy and streamlines their form, allowing smooth gliding through frigid seas. Their ability to coat themselves is not a luxury, it's a life-saving adaptation, crucial for one of Earth's harshest environments. Could a cuckoo really deceive other birds? The cuckoo is a master manipulator of the avian world. Rather than build its own nest, it lays eggs in those of other bird species, a behavior known as brood parasitism. But this isn't a haphazard trick. The female cuckoo carefully selects a host whose eggs resemble her own, often mimicking the color, size, and speckle patterns with near-perfect accuracy. Once laid, the cuckoo chick usually hatches first and instinctively pushes the host's eggs or chicks out of the nest. The unsuspecting foster parents, driven by instinct, feed the fast-growing imposter without recognizing the deception. This frees the cuckoo from parental duties, allowing it to invest energy in laying more eggs across multiple nests. It's a strategy that requires cunning, precision, and evolutionary finesse. Proof that survival isn't always about brute strength, but sometimes about outsmarting your neighbors. Did you know there are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way? Imagine this. There are about 3 trillion trees on Earth, while the Milky Way contains an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars. This means there are more trees on our planet than stars in our galaxy. This surprising fact highlights the abundance of life on Earth. Every time you walk through a forest or see a tree in your yard, remember how vital these giants are for sustaining life, providing oxygen, and regulating the climate. Did you know that the USA leads the world in Olympic medals? The United States holds the all-time record for Olympic Games medals. American athletes have earned more than 2,900 medals throughout the history of the Games. It is the only country to have won more than 1,000 gold medals. The USA continues to dominate, winning medals at every Olympics since the start of the Games in 1896. In 2024, at the Paris Games, the USA became the first country to surpass 3,000 total medals. This is a phenomenal achievement. Who would have thought that Al Capone's business card was anything but gangster? Did you know that the business card of America's most famous gangster, Al Capone, stated that he was a furniture salesman? This is an intriguing detail from the life of one of the most ruthless criminals of the 20th century. Capone rose to fame in the 1920s due to his criminal empire, yet he concealed his activities in official documents by claiming to run a completely legitimate business. This fact is striking as gangsters often use legal fronts to hide their criminal operations. Did you know that there are cities in the United States named after European capitals like Paris, Moscow, Berlin, and St. Petersburg? This is an interesting feature, as the early settlers in America often sought to bring parts of their native culture to the New World by naming places after the Old World. For instance, cities named Paris and Berlin in many U.S. states have become symbols of the old European traditions carried over to New America. Have you ever wondered that there are underground oceans? Beneath the Earth's surface, there are massive water reservoirs, which could be called underground oceans. The volume of water in these reservoirs exceeds that of all the oceans, lakes, and rivers on the surface. These hidden waters are located hundreds of kilometers deep underground, and scientists are just beginning to understand their role in the planet's geological processes. Wow! It turns out the bombardier beetle fights with chemistry. Among insects, few are as explosively clever as the bombardier beetle. When threatened, it doesn't flee, it fires. Inside its abdomen, it stores hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide in separate chambers. When danger nears, enzymes mix these two chemicals, triggering an exothermic reaction that releases a jet of boiling, noxious fluid at nearly 100 degrees. This chemical blast is ejected through a swiveling abdomen that allows the beetle to aim like a tiny flamethrower, defending itself from predators many times its size. The entire reaction completes in less than a second, accompanied by an audible pop that startles attackers. What's even more astonishing is the beetle's internal valve system, which pulses the blast in bursts to prevent self-injury. This is chemistry at its most aggressive, an insect turned walking lab reactor, capable of outsmarting predators with pure elemental force. Did you know that animals can be allergic to humans? Believe it or not, allergies aren't just a human problem. Animals can suffer from them too. Some pets can develop allergies to human dander, just like we can be allergic to animal fur. This can cause symptoms such as breathing difficulties and skin irritation, much like the allergic reactions we experience. It's a surprising reminder that allergies don't discriminate between species, and even our beloved furry friends can be sensitive to us. Did you know one lightning strike could toast 100,000 slices of bread? A single lightning strike can generate enough energy to toast about 100,000 slices of bread. This figure highlights the colossal power of lightning and its ability to generate incredible amounts of energy in just fractions of a second. Next time you see lightning, imagine how powerful nature is, not only booming thunderously, but also capable of powering an entire electric grid. Nature continues to astonish with its immense potential. Did you know that in Dubai there is a heavy gold ATM? In Dubai, you can find ATMs that dispense gold bars instead of regular money. These gold ATMs allow customers to purchase small bars of pure gold in various weights, from 1 gram to 2.5 kilograms. The gold is dispensed in beautiful gift packaging, and you can track the current price in real time. Dubai is famous for its luxurious landmarks, but being able to withdraw gold directly from an ATM is a true symbol of the city's extravagance. Who would have thought that the wolverine is a force of nature in miniature? Weighing only 10 to 25 kilograms, the wolverine might seem unimposing, but it has the heart and the bite of a giant. Its jaws are strong enough to crush frozen bones, and its body is designed for relentless endurance across vast snowy wilderness. Dense fur and subcutaneous fat protect it from cold, while sharp claws and muscular limbs let it scale cliffs and dig into carcasses. Wolverines can smell carrion under meters of snow and travel 40 kilometers in a day to reach it. They're known to fight off wolves and bears for food, despite being a fraction of their size. Their aggression, stamina, and solitary boldness have earned them a legendary reputation in indigenous folklore and wildlife biology alike. In essence, the wolverine is not just fierce, it's nature's embodiment of determination, grit, and raw survival power. Who would have thought that China has entire ghost cities? In China, there are cities built for millions of people, but they remain almost empty. For example, Ordos is a city designed for 1 million residents, but in reality, only a few thousand people live there. These are huge quarters with skyscrapers that have never been inhabited. The reasons for this disappearance of people are not entirely clear, making these ghost cities a real mystery for urban researchers. Did you know the hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world? The hummingbird, found in Cuba and nearby islands, is the world's smallest bird. The smallest species of hummingbird measures only 5 centimeters in length and weighs around 2 grams. But don't let its size fool you. This tiny bird is a real powerhouse. It can beat its wings up to 200 times per second, making it one of the fastest creatures in nature. This incredible little wonder can hover in place, feeding on flower nectar. Hard to believe, but sea cucumbers sacrifice organs to survive. When danger strikes, the sea cucumber doesn't fight, it self-destructs. In a process called evisceration, this soft-bodied marine animal ejects its intestines, respiratory organs, and sometimes even its reproductive tissues through its anus, distracting predators with a slimy, sticky mess. But this isn't suicidal, it's strategic. The predator is left with a bizarre meal, and the cucumber crawls away, relatively unharmed. Within weeks, it regenerates its lost organs completely, a process that fascinates scientists studying human tissue repair and organ regeneration. This act of sacrificial defense is a remarkable example of how vulnerability can become survival. What looks like destruction is, in fact, controlled, calculated regeneration. proof that nature sometimes wins by giving something up. Did you know that lightning is hotter than the sun? The temperature of lightning can reach up to 30,000 degrees Celsius, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This incredible natural phenomenon is one of the most powerful forces on Earth. When lightning strikes, it releases an enormous amount of energy in just a few milliseconds, heating the air around it to extreme temperatures. Lightning is truly nature's own flamethrower, bringing intense heat with every flash. Can you imagine that the total weight of all ants on Earth equals the weight of all humans? Despite their tiny size, ants are among the most numerous creatures on the planet. The total weight of all ants on Earth is equal to the weight of all humans. This astonishing fact highlights just how numerous these small workers are. Ants live in every planet, and their contribution to ecosystems is incredibly important. It's another example of how nature surprises us with its unexpected scales. Who would have thought that ants are such heavyweights in the natural world? Is it true that most dust is dead skin? Imagine that every day you shed millions of skin cells that turn into dust in your home. Dead skin cells make up a significant portion of household dust, along with clothing fibers, hair, and pollen. On average, a person loses about 200 million skin cells every hour. Of course, this doesn't sound very pleasant, but nature has designed your skin to constantly renew itself. In fact, one of the oils on your skin, squalene, helps reduce the harmful effects of ozone in the air, making your skin's microbiome a true protector of your environment. So the next time you're wiping down dust, remember, you're essentially cleaning away your yesterday's cells that have already served their purpose. Amazing how the body continually renews itself and maintains balance with the environment. Surprisingly, the shoebill looks like a living dinosaur. With its hulking frame, steely gaze, and enormous shoe-shaped bill, the shoebill stork, Baleniceps rex, is a bird that seems plucked straight from the Jurassic. Found in the swamps of Central Africa, this silent predator can stand over 1.2 meters tall and remain still for hours while hunting. When it strikes, it does so with terrifying precision, snatching fish, frogs, and even baby crocodiles. Its prehistoric appearance is matched by its behavior, slow, deliberate, and intense. The giant beak crushes prey with a snap as loud as a rifle crack. Despite its imposing look, the shoebill is shy and solitary, nesting deep in remote wetlands that are increasingly endangered by human activity. Conservationists now race to preserve both the habitats and the mystery of one of the world's most dinosaur-like birds. Clouds are heavier than you think. Ever wonder how much clouds weigh, even though they float so gracefully across the sky? Well, a typical cumulus cloud weighs about 500,000 kilograms. That's as much as 100 elephants. They might look light and fluffy, but they're carrying a huge amount of water. The next time you see clouds overhead, just remember the massive weight floating above you. Why do fennec foxes have such enormous ears? The fennec fox, Vulpes zerda, smallest of all canids, roams the scorching Sahara with its oversized radar-like ears, sometimes half the length of its body. These iconic ears aren't just for show. Packed with blood vessels, they radiate heat away from the body, functioning as natural air conditioners in temperatures exceeding 50 Fahrenheit. But they also serve as hypersensitive detectors. Fennecs can hear insects crawling beneath the sand and pinpoint prey like rodents or beetles from meters away. Nocturnal by nature, they rely on their exceptional hearing and padded feet to silently stalk through dunes. Their large ears are a dual-purpose miracle. Audio surveillance devices by night and cooling panels by day, evolved to perfection for desert survival. In a landscape of extremes, the fennec's ears are both its shield and its sword. Is it possible? Paper can be stronger than steel. Special technologies can create what is known as paper armor, which when treated properly becomes stronger than steel. For example, Japanese washi paper, used in some bulletproof vests, can withstand impacts that ordinary paper couldn't handle. This paper is treated with resins and layered, making it incredibly durable. Amazingly, paper can be used for protection, just like metal, thanks to these technologies. Is it possible that earthworms can regenerate their bodies? Yes, it's true. If an earthworm loses part of its body, it can regenerate the lost segment. However, contrary to popular myths, if you cut a worm in half, only the part with the head will survive. Regeneration in earthworms is a fascinating process, but it's not as magical as some may think. Imagine being able to regrow parts of your body as if nothing ever happened. Did you know that kangaroos have a spare pregnancy? Kangaroos have an amazing ability that's truly astonishing. Female kangaroos can delay the development of an embryo for several months if the conditions aren't favorable for the birth of a joey. This process is called embryonic diapause. Imagine that a kangaroo can literally put its pregnancy on hold if it's already caring for a young joey or if there isn't enough food. When conditions improve, the embryo continues its development. This biological marvel helps kangaroos survive in Australia's harsh and unpredictable climate. Can you imagine? Your blood vessels could wrap around the earth twice. Have you ever wondered how complex the human circulatory system is? If you laid out all the blood vessels in your body end to end, they would stretch about 96,000 kilometers, enough to wrap around the earth twice. This intricate network of arteries, veins, and capillaries is vital for transporting blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. This amazing feat of nature highlights just how complex and beautifully designed our bodies are. Now that you know this fact, you can marvel even more at how your body works. Why do different countries have different sized banknotes? Banknotes in various countries are sized differently to help people with visual impairments distinguish them by touch. For instance, in the United States, all bills are the same size. But in euros and British pounds, each denomination varies in length and width. This helps not only the visually impaired, but also everyone else quickly differentiate denominations without looking. Additionally, it adds protection against counterfeiting, as counterfeit bills rarely match the exact sizes of the originals. How would you react if you found out that the U.S. military funds most of the world's technology? The model by which the U.S. military finances technological developments has been known since the 1960s, when they began supporting the creation of microchips and the internet, initially aimed at protecting against nuclear strikes. These technologies were later adapted by entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, becoming the foundation for commercial products that are now in every home and even in every hand in the form of smartphones. Military funding has sparked many technological revolutions, illustrating how military support and innovation go hand in hand with economic development. Did you know a group of kangaroos is called a mob? Yes, that's true. A group of these fascinating animals is called a mob, and the name perfectly describes their social behavior. Kangaroos live in large groups, moving and foraging together. Their social structure is well coordinated, with each mob acting as a unit. This makes them unique not only biologically, but also behaviorally. Now, when you see a group of kangaroos, you can call them a mob and impress your friends with this fun fact. The Eiffel Tower grows in summer. Every year when summer hits Paris, the Eiffel Tower undergoes a little growth spurt. Its height can increase by a few centimeters due to the thermal expansion of iron. As temperatures rise, the metal expands, making the tower stretch upwards as if waking up from a winter slumber. This phenomenon shows how even majestic and sturdy structures, like the Eiffel Tower, are influenced by nature. And when summer ends and temperatures drop, the tower shrinks back to its usual height. It's a reminder that architecture and nature are always dancing together in harmony. Did you know the world's oldest message in a bottle was found after more than a century? In 2018, a bottle washed ashore on a beach in Western Australia containing a message tossed into the Indian Ocean by a German ship in 1886. This message had traveled through the seas for an incredible 132 years before being. Talk about slow and steady mail service. It's a fascinating glimpse into the past, connecting us with a different era. Octopuses are the interior designers of the ocean you never knew about. Octopuses aren't just smart, they are also the artists of the underwater world. These fascinating creatures love collecting shiny shells, stones, and other treasures to decorate their underwater homes. They create underwater gardens around their dens, meticulously arranging everything. This shows not only their survival skills, but also their sense of artistry. Their homes are not just beautiful, but also designed to protect them from predators and attract the attention of other octopuses. Who would have thought that these sea creatures had such a talent for interior design? Can you imagine sharks that walk on the ocean floor? Yes, there are sharks that literally walk on the seafloor. These amazing creatures are known as epaulet sharks and belong to the genus Hemicillium. They use their fins like legs, moving across the ocean floor in search of food. This ability allows them to hunt even in the shallowest areas of reefs, where swimming would be difficult. Their unique adaptation makes them true walking sharks among their kind. Isn't this an example of how incredible nature can be, giving a marine predator such unusual skills? Have you ever wondered what makes Britain so unique? One of the most distinctive aspects of the UK is its ability to blend ancient history with modernity. Despite its roots in ancient times, Britain has successfully adapted to a changing world, allowing it to remain a significant player on the international stage. Additionally, British culture has made a profound impact on art, literature, and science. This might sound crazy, but the mantis shrimp punches harder than a bullet. The mantis shrimp may look like a colorful reef dweller, but it packs one of the most powerful punches in the animal kingdom. Its club-like limb accelerates at 23 meters per second, faster than a .22 caliber bullet, and delivers over 10,000 joules of force. When it strikes, it not only smashes shells, but also creates cavitation bubbles that collapse with a second explosive hit, producing shock waves, heat, and even light. The limb structure includes a saddle-shaped energy-storing mechanism, which scientists now study to develop resilient materials for body armor in aerospace. Aquarium glass has cracked under its blows. It's not just brute strength, it's precision engineering perfected over millions of years. With explosive power and mind-blowing speed, the mantis shrimp is one of nature's deadliest biomechanical weapons. Infinite combinations, a deck of cards in the vastness of the universe. The number of ways to shuffle a standard 52-card deck is mind-blowing. This figure is known as the factorial of 52 and equals a number with 60 zeros. This means that every time you shuffle a deck, you are likely creating a combination that has never existed before and will never be repeated. So next time you play cards, remember, you have a whole universe of possibilities in your hands. Can you believe Scotland's national animal is a unicorn? Yes, it's true. Scotland has chosen the unicorn, a mythical creature, as its national animal. This magical beast, symbolizing purity and strength, has held a special place in Scottish culture and symbolism for centuries. The unicorn became a national symbol in the Middle Ages and still adorns coats of arms and flags today. As a national emblem, the unicorn represents Scotland's proud, independent, and slightly mystical spirit. Why a day on Venus is longer than its year? Did you know that one day on Venus is longer than an entire Venusian year? Venus rotates around its axis so slowly that it takes about 243 Earth days to complete one rotation. But its orbit around the Sun, lasts only around 225 days. Imagine standing on Venus, watching the Sun rise and set over the course of several months. By the time a Venusian evening arrives, 2 Earth years have passed. This makes Venus one of the most paradoxical planets in our solar system. Did you know the creator of the Frisbee had his ashes turned into a Frisbee? After the death of Walter Morrison, the inventor of the Frisbee, his ashes were turned into a Frisbee. This unusual tribute not only kept his spirit alive, but literally made him part of the game he created. It's a reminder that a person's memory can fly on, encouraging us to enjoy every moment of life. Imagine for a moment that Stonehenge is older than the Egyptian pyramids. Stonehenge is a mysterious monument that remains one of the world's greatest enigmas. It was built around 3000 BC, making it older than the oldest pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt, which was constructed around 2500 BC. It is unknown how ancient people managed to erect such a grand structure, and importantly, why they did so. This makes Stonehenge an important archaeological and cultural landmark. Did you know that elephants can hear with their feet? Elephants have a unique ability to sense sound waves through the ground. Their sensitive feet can detect vibrations from several kilometers away. These vibrations help elephants detect approaching predators or other herds. Furthermore, they use this ability to communicate with each other over long distances, transmitting signals and warnings. This sensitivity makes elephants remarkable animals, capable of hearing what is imperceptible to human ears. Did you know New Zealand has an official wizard? In 1990, the government of New Zealand officially granted the title of wizard to Ian Brackenbury. His duties include spreading magic and joy throughout the country. This wizard on call has become a true cultural icon, filling his homeland with magic and smiles. If you need a wizard, just head to New Zealand. He's always on hand. This is a great example of how a country can officially invite magic into everyday life. Did you know that bats can see with sound? While many creatures rely on vision, bats have mastered a different sense, echolocation, to thrive in complete darkness. They emit high-frequency sound waves, usually beyond human hearing, which bounce off nearby objects. By measuring the time delay and frequency shift of the returning echoes, bats construct a mental map of their surroundings with extraordinary precision. Some species process more than 100 echoes per second, adjusting their wing beats and flight path in real time to track even the tiniest insect midair. Their brains are wired to convert sound into spatial imagery, essentially allowing them to see with their ears. This remarkable adaptation has evolved independently in different bat families, showcasing nature's ingenuity. Throughout history, bats have been wrapped in myth, seen as omens or vampires. But in reality, they are marvels of bioacoustics and a source of inspiration for modern sonar and radar technologies. Did you know that squirrels can cause power outages? It turns out that cute, fluffy squirrels can cause significant damage to the power grid. In the United States, about 10 to 20% of all power outages happen because squirrels accidentally come into contact with wires and electrical equipment. These little mischief makers love climbing power lines, sometimes touching dangerous parts of the equipment. This leads to short circuits and outages that can affect entire cities. Who would have thought that such innocent-looking creatures could cause serious energy problems? Next time you see a squirrel on a tree, think about its potential as a saboteur. Can you imagine that 1 billion seconds equals 32 years? If you calculate, 1 billion seconds equals approximately 31 years, 8 months, and 8 days. It's an example of how easy it is to get lost in the measurement of time when it is expressed in such large numbers. For comparison, in that period, a child could grow up, become an adult, and graduate from university. Time moves quietly, and realizing that 1 billion seconds covers such a long span of life makes you think about its value and fleeting nature. It's hard to believe, but the war between Britain and Zanzibar lasted just 38 minutes. In August 1896, Britain and its colony Zanzibar engaged in the shortest armed conflict in history, lasting only 38 minutes. Although this war was brief, it remains a significant episode in British history, vividly demonstrating the power of the empire at that time. Can you imagine a world where dads give birth, seahorses live it? In the underwater realm of seahorses, traditional gender roles are flipped. It's the male that becomes pregnant. After a graceful mating dance, the female deposits eggs into the male's brood pouch, a specialized chamber on his abdomen. The male fertilizes the eggs and incubates them for weeks, regulating temperature, oxygen flow, and salinity. During this time, he nourishes the embryos, protects them from predators, and even contracts in labor to release the fully formed young into the ocean. This is the only known case of true male pregnancy in the animal kingdom. Ancient Asian cultures viewed seahorses as symbols of protection and good fortune, perhaps drawn to their unusual parenting habits. Biologists continue to study this rare adaptation for insights into reproductive biology and evolutionary diversity. In the world of seahorses, fatherhood takes on a whole new level of commitment. Have you ever wondered what the average salary in the UK is? The average salary for Britons is about $30,000 per year, which is roughly $3,200 per month or 300,000 rubles. The British pound is one of the oldest currencies still in use today and is also one of the most expensive currencies, making it attractive to investors. However, the pound is also one of the most counterfeited currencies. Did you know the world's most isolated tree was located in the middle of the Sahara? In the vast expanse of the Sahara Desert, there once stood a legendary tree known as the Tree of Tenere. This solitary acacia was the only tree for miles around and served as an essential landmark for travelers. The tree was about 300 years old and survived the harsh desert conditions by tapping into underground water. Sadly, its story came to a tragic end in 1973 when it was accidentally knocked down by a truck. Today, the Tree of Tenere is preserved in a museum, a symbol of nature's resilience and the dangers of the desert. Wow! Turns out a lion's roar is louder than a jet engine at takeoff. Lions are not only kings of the savannah, they also reign sonically. A lion's roar can reach an ear-shattering 114 decibels and be heard up to 8 kilometers away, depending on wind and terrain. The secret lies in their vocal folds, which are uniquely shaped to produce a deep, resonant bellow using minimal lung pressure. These roars serve critical purposes, claiming territory, coordinating hunts, and reinforcing social hierarchies within a pride. The cool, dense air of night helps carry the sound across vast plains. Even in tall grass, pride members recognize one another by the distinct pitch and pattern of their roars. African folklore often paints the lion as a voice of thunder and dominance, and for good reason. Biologists use roaring to study population dynamics and pride structures, proving that in the wild, sound is power, and lions wield it like no other. Sleeping with one eye open, how dolphins and birds stay vigilant. Some animals, like dolphins and many birds, have the incredible ability to sleep with one eye open. This phenomenon is called unihemispheric sleep, where one half of the brain sleeps while the other stays awake to monitor the environment. This helps animals stay alert and avoid dangers like predators. For example, dolphins can sleep while staying on the water's surface and continue to breathe. Birds can rest in mid-flight or perched on a branch while remaining vigilant. This remarkable adaptation is an example of how nature has developed incredible survival mechanisms in the most challenging conditions. How would you react to the fact that Winston Churchill was born in a women's restroom? What if you found out that one of Britain's greatest politicians was born in such an unusual place? This fact about Churchill has become almost mythical, and while it may not be true, such astonishing and vivid moments have become part of his legend. Churchill, who served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom twice, played a crucial role in the Allies' victory in World War II. His speeches, resolve, and ability to make important decisions during the most challenging times of the war are key features of his political legacy. It's not as simple as it seems, because Iceland isn't just ice. When early Norse explorers reached this island, it was winter. They saw snowstorms, icy cliffs, and cold seas, and they named it Island, or Iceland, based on first impressions. But this land of ice is also a land of fire, one of the most volcanically active places on Earth, filled with geysers, green pastures, and hot springs. Ironically, Iceland is greener in parts than its neighbor Greenland. Over the centuries, the name stuck, becoming a kind of poetic misdirection. Viking sagas described Iceland as both beautiful and brutal, a land of gods and giants, and modern visitors still find that contrast alive. Today, glaciers and lava fields coexist with modern cities and geothermal energy. Iceland's name tells only half the story. Its true identity is a spectacular blend of opposites. It sounds unbelievable, but snow can keep you warm. You wouldn't expect frozen water to save you from freezing, but that's exactly what snow does inside an igloo. Though cold to the touch, snow is a great insulator because it traps air. When Inuit peoples shape blocks of compressed snow into domes, those blocks form a network of air pockets that slow heat loss. Even in Arctic temperatures of 30°C or colder, the inside of an igloo can rise to 0°C or above with just body heat and a candle. It's not warm by tropical standards, but it's a life-saving difference. The science is simple but brilliant. Air conducts heat poorly, and snow, being mostly air, becomes a shield. For centuries, the igloo has been a shelter of survival, a masterpiece of indigenous engineering built entirely from what nature provides in the harshest environment on Earth. What remarkable feature does Queen Elizabeth II have in her long career? Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning monarch in world history, having served on the British throne for 70 years. During her reign, the country has undergone numerous historical changes, and the Queen herself has become a symbol of stability for the nation. Over the years of her reign, the United Kingdom has experienced many political, social, and economic shifts, but her dedication to duty and unique ability to remain at the center of the country's political life have been key aspects of her leadership. Did you know that money originated in the Stone Age? The history of money begins in the Stone Age when people exchanged goods through barter. However, this system was inconvenient, as it was difficult to find someone who wanted to trade their goods specifically for yours. In response to this limitation, people began to seek universal items for exchange, and the first such items were livestock, cattle, pigs, and sheep. Later, people started using more portable forms of money, such as rare types of shells. Can you imagine the world's longest bridge stretches over 160 kilometers? The Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge in China holds the title of the world's longest bridge, stretching over 164 kilometers. This engineering marvel is part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway. Spanning lakes, fields, and valleys, the bridge not only astounds with its length, but also offers travelers breathtaking views as they speed across at up to 300 kilometers per hour. Is it true that blood type O is the most common in the world? Yes, blood type O is indeed the most common on the planet. Approximately 38% of the world's population has this blood type, making it not only the most frequent, but also highly valuable for transfusions. Because of its universal compatibility, type O blood can be given to anyone with a positive blood type, which makes it critical in medical emergencies. If you have blood type O, know that you possess a valuable resource that could save countless lives. Did you know the term cow is often used incorrectly? The term cow technically refers only to a female cattle that has given birth to at least one calf. A female that has not yet had a calf is properly called a heifer. Male cattle are called bulls. This term is often used incorrectly in everyday conversation when referring to cattle in general. The next time you speak about cows, remember that there are many nuances to the term, depending on the animal's sex and age. Why do you think giraffes have black tongues? Giraffes have tongues nearly half a meter long, and they're not just black, they're blue-black. This unique color isn't random, it protects them from the sun. Giraffes spend hours each day stripping leaves from tall trees under the hot sun. The dark color acts like a natural sunscreen, preventing sunburn. This amazing adaptation lets giraffes spend all the time they need in the sun without worry. Nature thought of everything. Why does Turkey build palaces for stray cats? In the streets of Istanbul, you can find miniature houses that look like palaces, built especially for stray cats. The locals consider cats sacred animals and care for them with great love. Some of these houses even feature carvings and balconies, with food and water bowls nearby. These cat palaces have become symbols of Turkey's respect for animals, and tourists often admire these little masterpieces around the city. Why does Italy have a bell tower that sings? In the quiet town of Cefalù, Sicily, stands an unusual bell tower that produces melodic sounds when the wind whistles through it. This effect is created by narrow slits in the tower's structure that transform the airflow into music resembling organ sounds. Locals call it the voice of the tower, believing it preserves the memory of ancient times. Tourists from around the world come to hear this unique melody on cloudy, windy days, filling the streets with a mystical sound. Why have the Maldives become synonymous with luxury? Located southwest of Sri Lanka, the Maldives have long been a dream destination for those seeking seclusion, beauty, and opulence. This archipelago is renowned for its pristine white beaches, crystal clear waters, and vibrant coral reefs. Each year, the Maldives attract more tourists, solidifying their reputation as one of the most exclusive and popular honeymoon or luxury vacation spots. The allure of these islands lies not only in their natural beauty, but also in the unique atmosphere of tranquility that allows escape from the bustle of the world. Zombies were never about brains, until Hollywood said so. The word zombie comes from West African and Haitian spiritual beliefs, not movie monsters. Derived from the Congo term Nzambi, meaning spirit of the dead, the zombie was once a tragic figure, someone enslaved through dark magic, not a rotting corpse with a hunger for brains. Haitian voodoo lore described individuals buried alive, drugged into submission, and later revived in zombie-like states. In the 1800s, Western explorers sensationalized these accounts, while anthropologists discovered the real cause. Neurotoxins like tetrodotoxin from pufferfish, creating a catatonic trance. Hollywood morphed this into cannibalistic horror during the Cold War era, feeding cultural anxieties. The zombie we know today is a far cry from its original roots, a chilling case of myth, misunderstanding, and media mutation. Surprisingly but true, the wave in Arizona attracts tourists from around the world with its unique natural formation. Located on the border with Utah, the wave is a remarkable sandstone feature that has become a symbol of natural beauty and stunning landscapes. This site is known for its wave-like rock structures, painted in vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. Travelers from across the globe visit to see this place, and many photographers consider it one of the most beautiful and photographed spots on Earth. Can you believe coconuts kill more people than sharks? Sharks may star in our nightmares, but coconuts are the real silent killers. Every year, an estimated 150 people die from falling coconuts, 3 times the global average of fatal shark attacks. A coconut can fall from heights of 25 meters and hit speeds of over 50 km/h, delivering the force of a brick from a rooftop. These accidents are especially common in tropical resorts, where hammocks and beach chairs sit temptingly beneath swaying palms. Unlike sharks, coconuts don't need teeth to do damage. The irony? One is feared for drama, the other is ignored for familiarity. It's a reminder that real danger often hides in the ordinary, not the exotic. And the next time you relax under a coconut tree, a little awareness might go a long way. Why do lightning bolts often strike the same place? Lightning strikes tend to favor certain spots. For example, Lake Victoria in Africa is one of the most lightning-prone places in the world. Why does this happen? It's due to unique climate conditions that create almost continuous thunderstorms. Warm air rising from the lake's surface meets cooler air currents, triggering constant electrical discharges. Here's what's even more interesting. Lightning can strike the same place several times in a short period, and it's not a myth. Researchers found that high ground conductivity also plays a key role in attracting lightning to specific spots. Believe it or not, colorblind people live full, vibrant lives. Colorblindness is a condition where some people have difficulty distinguishing certain colors, with red and green being the most common. However, people with color blindness have adapted by using patterns, memory, and modern technology, such as color filters for screens and specialized glasses. These innovations help colorblind individuals lead full lives and express themselves uniquely. Despite the challenges, colorblind people overcome these obstacles with resilience and creativity, proving that life is as vibrant as they make it. How would you react if you learned that Bagan in Myanmar is an entire ancient city with thousands of temples? Bagan is a true archaeological reserve with over 2,000 temples and pagodas built between the 9th and 13th centuries. This ancient city was the capital of a powerful kingdom and still holds many secrets and mysteries. Due to its historical and cultural significance, Bagan has become one of the top tourist destinations in Southeast Asia, attracting those who wish to immerse themselves in the atmosphere of the ancient world and explore its grandeur. Superfetation. Is it possible to get pregnant while already pregnant? Could this really be true? It turns out, yes. Superfetation is a rare medical phenomenon in which a woman can get pregnant while already being pregnant. This occurs when ovulation continues even after conception, which typically doesn't happen as the body halts the ovulation cycle after pregnancy begins. As a result of this rare condition, a woman can carry two embryos of different ages simultaneously. Though extremely rare in humans, this phenomenon occurs more frequently in the animal kingdom, especially in certain species of fish and mammals. It's amazing but true. The human body is full of surprises, and sometimes nature can break its own rules. It's hard to believe, but giraffes and humans have the same number of neck vertebrae. Despite the fact that a giraffe's neck is much longer, both giraffes and humans have the same number of neck vertebrae, 7. These bones provide support for the head and allow neck mobility. In giraffes, they are simply much longer than in humans. This fascinating fact highlights the amazing diversity of evolution and nature, despite the external differences between species. Did you know that the resolution of the human eye surpasses any camera? Our eyes can distinguish up to 10 million shades of color with such incredible clarity that no modern camera can compare. Imagine this. The human eye has a resolution of 576 megapixels. This is far beyond even the best photographic technologies available today. We all love high-resolution screens, but we often forget that our own eyes already provide us with the perfect visual experience. And the best part, it's completely free.